just thinking about the whole theme of it with goblins, and goblins being like very intelligent and creative creatures, basically. They have high technology and all of that. Do you think the tier set bonuses we're going to have are going to be translated into that?
Oh, for sure.
Like, but possibly getting us finally into some more, dare I say, complex tier set bonuses?
Well, we know that they intentionally make the season 1 tier sets simpler just to get people accustomed to the new things.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like back in Dragonflight, I didn't feel like season 2 tier sets were that much.
No, but they were definitely more complex than season 1.
Do we want more complex? Let's put it like this. So if we're gonna have this team of like goblins and explosions and inventions and all types of techie stuff, right? Being into the team of that, do we want more complex tier sets? Like when we're talking about complex tier sets, we're thinking about altering rotations.
I don't think complex is the right word. Maybe interesting is a better word. Because we can take a good example at random tier sets that we have right now where they just give you 5% more crit and 10% more damage, and then you have specs like Frost Death Knight that says when you consume runic power you get 10% more strength. That's way cooler than just, oh, your ability does 20% more damage, right? So clearly we can make them more interesting, and that is interesting in and of itself because I can go on a limb and say that for Frost Death Knight that kind of dictates the kind of build you want, and probably that's why Breath of Sindragosa is so much better because it probably plays more into it. Meaning that we just want interesting stuff, not necessarily complex stuff that can, oh, I kind of want to play this part of my spec, and the tier set kind of enables that
like
for
actually consuming runic power. For sure.
Well, if you play Obliteration, man, you don't care about runic power.
No. Maybe it's something in regards to the wording as well. Personally, I would like to have something that, if you're going to go into Undermined, please, from the looks of the tier sets to the actual bonuses, have it be translatable into that.
You're gonna be a Death Knight with rockets and little sonars on your head tweaking around.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't mind, having all of my bugs be on little rockets and stuff, attached rockets, go, that is if I'm going to main Unholy in 11.1 as well. Who knows, right? It's a different story altogether. But I would love for, again, if they're going to translate into the team of goblins and all of that, to have it, at least flavorish in the actual mechanics of the tier set bonuses, right? I'm pretty sure they're going to look awesome because like most of the designs are okay. Some of them are really bad from the past, but in terms of like the design
is definitely going to be themed. I'm not so sure that the effects will be themed towards goblins because I don't think we've had that at any point in time in the past. Aberrus didn't really give you Aberrus themed procs.
Well, interesting. Yeah.
So for instance,
this is Aberrus is different. Aberrus is different because Aberrus is like a facility. You're going now into a whole culture. Right? It's very different than Aberrus. Okay, this is a whole culture where it makes sense to have that technology, that creativity, that intelligence baked into the gear you're getting, because you're going to the liberation of Undermine, right? You're going into the meat of it, where Gallywix is like controlling everybody. So the gear you get from that, the Mother Lode, the other dungeon, the floodgates, right? So it would make sense, like even fantasy-wise, if you're gonna get some bonuses, to have these mechanical, interesting things. I think
these bonuses will not be tier sets, and I think they will be the kind of enchants that we've had in Amir Drasil, where you remember you enchanted your headpiece with the little flame item thing. That was very in tune with Amir Drasil. That just procced flame damage, and it activated a bunch of.
I agree. That's okay, but it didn't feel enough.
No, obviously, but they could put rocket enchants on your shoulders every now and again. When you proc your consumer or your cooldowns, you shoot rockets at your enemies. That could be a thing. I would probably lean more towards them having little enchanty things / I hope it's not embellishments, but rather just enchantments in some way than actual tier sets. Because if you're a warrior, when you rampage, do you drop grenades? Where do you drop them from? Your butt?
No, I can see some sort of like electricity thing going on. Not necessarily, so you don't have to go bombastic. It's not, goblins are not all about explosions and rockets, man.
But that is like, what goblins are.
You can have like some sort of electricity effect, add some little damage, like visually beat that, and all sorts of, like, when you talk about goblin and gnome ingenuity, you think about all these mechanical, electrical stuff that is going on.
Yeah, sometimes can zap you, because we're talking about goblins.
Yeah, kiss mechanics, so for sure. But what about that Tinker class, man?
Dude, I was so coked up yesterday.
I still believe that's going to come in 0.5. I think that's gonna come. They haven't put it anywhere because they want to like still drop it like augmentation.
So that's
it would be the same path as Dragonflight.
It would be. And dude, I really think that there are a lot of cards set up for this to happen, because if you think about it, Dragonflight had big turnarounds with the Mythic Plus being revamped for the second season, where we lost the seasonal affix. That was a big thing for Mythic Plus back then. On top of the class reworks, we've had augmentation being dumped on us on 10.1.5. So we've had big content swings in the middle of the expansion that revitalized the game in some way, which haven't been announced yet. Augmentation wasn't announced back then either. And you would think that if they would ever consider a Tinker class, it would have to be now. Like when
This is the perfect time.
So it would make sense to be halfway, because they could just play off the same augmentation card, which would make so much sense. So now that, you know, you've grown accustomed, maybe even liberated Undermine, now the goblins are sharing their tech with you and they're teaching people how to be tinkers, right? Hopefully only for tiny races, because that's hilarious as fuck. But because if you put, because you remember Gazlo from Heroes of the Storm?
Yeah, man. Now, all I think about is him being in WoW.
Oh my god,
like those abilities.
Make that and put a mech suit on it.
Oh my god.
On a goblin, it's hilarious, because like, and a gnome and a Vulpera and a mecha gnome, right? Because then we have 2 races for each faction that can do the little thing. Because if you put it on a Torrent, boy, that's a raid boss, boy. That's a little bit too much, man. Look at the Torrent. Hey, ruggeds.
No, fuck that, no.
But Tinker is a good opportunity to add so much freshness to WoW classes. It can be a male class that people have been wanting for a long time. It can be the male tank that we've never gotten in the
right up robot. There.
We had Mechatork in BFA, which people have been asking for Tinker since Warcraft 3, because it's an actual hero in Warcraft 3. And then we get the Mechatork boss in BFA. He's like,
yeah, it's here. You made it. You have assets for it. You have systems for it. Just put it on our classes. It's the best time to get it. Now, I thought obviously they're going to announce it on 11.1, right? They didn't. And there's no information regarding 11.1.5. But if they stick to their cadence, 11.1.5 would be the time where they drop this. And if you remember, in Dragonflight, prior to them dropping augmentation, there was a couple of hints in the story. We had a little bit of like data mining going on, and we speculated that it's going to be a tank spec, because it was an augmentation. Then a leak happened right before a leak happened that everybody says, it's gonna be the Augmentor and all of that. So we did have a couple of hints prior to them dropping it. I think it was in some sort of like 0.7 patch, something along those lines. So we still have clues yet to be seen, okay? Sure. We have to like be very worried, but I know for sure, like we didn't know, but we had speculation before they dropped it. We just didn't know it was an augmentation. We thought it was a tank.
What's important is that the community of World of Warcraft players unites right now and puts a lot of pressure on Blizzard to make this happen. And the way you can do that is by liking the stream on YouTube, or the video if you're watching it on YouTube right now, to make it bigger and get more people's like, oh, let's make this happen. I'm pretty sure that if they don't have a plan, they're not gonna make it. But I mean, it would be such a good opportunity to do it.
What better time to mess up the class balance even more? Add one more class.
Think about it this way. We have in the Awakening the Machine activity in the Ringing Deeps, we have robots dropping heal packs.
Yeah, I know.
It could have a healing spec.
It can actually be a trinity, right? This Tinker can be a trinket, can be tank, DPS, and healer.
It would have to be, because right now there's a clear problem with tank and healer role representation, and bringing a new class that can do both will definitely revitalize the interest of players in playing those roles. And if you make a mech dude tank, boys and gals will be all up in that beeswax.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, fantasy-wise, it's gonna be top-notch, obviously.
Steampunky, WoW stuff, yeah.
And it makes so much sense with Undermine and going in cahoots with the goblins and stuff. It's like, come on, man, this is like the proper way to do it. Maybe they will also add the support role as well.
That's exactly what says in chat right now. It could be the
there you go.
Roles.
Yeah, there you go. So actually make some, man, that would mess up the balance so much. Oh my God. Like, can you imagine having 2 support specs similar abilities?
I think that would actually improve the balance, because one of the biggest problems with augmentation being always the top in the meta is because it's the only support spec and you don't really have any other choice. You have to get that one. But if we have more, obviously you'll probably
spice it up, goddammit. Fuck it.
Maybe endgame is you have to have a support and then fill in the rest, right? And maybe that's augmentation, or maybe that can be the tinker. Just saying.